You may think you know New Jersey. You may think you know how we dress and how we talk, how we argue with our husbands and then get drunk on the boardwalk. But that's really not who we are. There's so much more to South Jersey. We have everything all in one place. We have museums, we have beaches, we have farms, we have great neighborhoods. There's so many reasons to live here and visit here, and we're gonna show them all to you. Come with me as we explore all that South Jersey has to offer, the people and the places.
And you do this while you're on a horse.
Yep.
If I miss the beat, does the whole boat tip over?
No.
I'm Marianne Aleardi, and this is South Jersey. I bet you think the only way to see an archaeological dig site is to travel somewhere halfway around the world. But no, I'm in South Jersey. I'm in Mantua, and right here is a dinosaur fossil park. It's an archaeological dig site. Real live paleontologists come here and they dig for dinosaur fossils and they find them. But what's really cool is one day a week, they let students come and join in the dig. The site is 65 acres and it's run by Roman paleontologist Dr. Ken Lacavera. He's going to show me around and teach me some things about discovering fossils in South Jersey.
Paleontologists have known for many decades that there is a collection of fossils near the bottom of this pit, a bone bed. And what we found is that a high proportion of the individuals that we find, the fossil individuals, are what we call articulated skeletons, meaning that the bones are still touching like in life position. And you won't get an articulated skeleton if they were washed in from elsewhere or if they sat on the seafloor for a long time where they'd be pulled apart by scavengers. So we know now that we have a mass death event recorded here near the end of the Cretaceous period, near the end of the time of dinosaurs.
So you're finding whole pieces of a body part? Like something I would see in the museum when they put it together, you're finding it already put together?
Absolutely. You'll see big sea turtle shells articulated, all the pieces are together. A few years ago, right over there, I found an 18-foot long crocodile that was articulated.
Get out of here.
We find some...
That was together?
Mostly, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Literally every minute we're finding things. Every few weeks we find something pretty good, and several times a year we find things that are absolutely spectacular.
Even though this is an active scientific dig site, Dr. Lacavera loves sharing it with students.
In June and in the last few years, we've begun to bring in grade school groups and high school groups. And the really nice thing about this quarry, we have the scientifically important layer over there that we manage very, very carefully. Okay. But above that is about 35 stratigraphic feet, 35 feet up, that contains fossils. And those fossils aren't particularly scientifically important, but they're abundant. So every kid, every citizen that comes here who tries a little bit finds a 65 million-year-old fossil with their own hands that they get to take home. I've seen it over and over and over. For children, that's a transformational experience. When they make that connection between themselves and the ancient past in the place where they live, they really start to get it.
Before the kids arrive, the grad students are already at work. It rained the night before, so there's a lot of cleanup going on. But most of their time is spent excavating that impact layer, uncovering a millimeter at a time. Chris Bakash is a grad student. He's already started his dig.
Under here, there are thousands of fossils. We find all sorts of things.
Have you found things?
Oh yeah, fish bones, shark bones, little vertebrates, clams, oysters, snails, you name it, we find it. This right here is about 65 million years old. And this is called the brachiopod.
Okay.
This is a clam-like species that would dig itself into the bottom of the ocean and feed down there.
Is that it, the whole thing, or is it a piece of it?
So this is what we call a steinkern.
Okay.
And a steinkern is a German word, and it translates to stone kernel. And basically, when you have something like a clam, over time it gets filled with sand, and then the sand compresses as it gets piled on top of, or earth piles on top of it, and what you're left is an infill of that species. So that's what we're looking at here.
And you just find these all the time?
Yeah, so we'll find them, you know, by digging through the sand like we do here. You'll expose something underneath, and then you'll poke around it and dig it out. But yeah, you can find things just by walking around, looking around. Dr. Lacavera, he can basically just reach into the ground and pull something out within 5 seconds.
Yeah. So have you been here when something really cool was discovered?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, they had a community day here, and there were about 150 middle schoolers.
Yeah.
And this girl's walking around, just looking around the site, and she reaches over and picks something up, and she picks up a stingray tooth plate, which is about this big.
Yeah.
And we never really find those in the ground, but she found one for the first time just out around.
When she picks that up, does she know that she's finding something different?
You know, a lot of kids, they'll pick something up, they'll pick up a rock, which is clearly a rock, but
Yeah.
because they're here at a fossil site, they'll ask you, is this a fossil?
Yeah.
And you'll say, no, that's a rock.
Yeah.
But she didn't know, and she came and asked somebody, and they were able to let her know that she found something really rare and really
exciting.
cool. Yeah.
Do you tell your friends what you do? I'm sure none of your friends do anything like that, except for the friends you have here.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to go home on a Friday, and when people ask what you did with your day, you'll say, oh, I was out digging for fossils all day. And they're like, what? Where?
Yeah, exactly. Where?
They really don't know that South Jersey has some great digging for fossils and paleontology sites.
Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I really had no idea how good this place was until we started digging too, but it's world class.
The real excitement of the day is when the students arrive. This year, over 8,000 students will visit the site, and there's a long waiting list of schools. When students arrive, they are split into 3 groups. 2 groups go to a workshop on South Jersey's ancient past, while the 3rd group is in the pit. They rotate throughout the day. Students love it, and why wouldn't they? This is their chance to excavate a true archaeological dig site, right here in South Jersey. I'm in Camden County at the Cooper River Dragon Boat Festival. There are 27 teams here from all over the East Coast. They're competing in 3 divisions: novice, competitive, and the last division is for teams made up entirely of breast cancer survivors. One of those teams is from South Jersey, the River Sisters. They're competing today. Dragon boat racing began in China 2,000 years ago. Today, it's a popular sport that is fairly easy to learn, and even with a little experience, you can become a good competitor quickly. Each team has 16 to 20 paddlers and 1 drummer. Rosemary Murphy is the River Sisters coach, and she's letting me join the team on their morning run before the competition starts. She's giving me some instruction.
So your top hand goes up over top,
Right.
and it's just symmetrical on the top of the blade. Your bottom hand is about above this tape right
Okay.
here, and you hold it like that.
Okay.
Okay, and so you're going to be sitting on the bench here, and your hip is going to be up against the side of the boat.
Okay.
Okay, so it's called the gunnel. So your hip's up against the gunnel.
Okay.
And you're going to reach out in the front.
Yes.
Okay, like that. So top arm is up high.
Okay.
And your bottom arm is straight.
Yes.
So that's the beginning of the stroke. You're going to enter the water, that's called the catch.
Okay.
And then you pull back
All right.
to your hip, and then you exit the water, and then you come back to the front.
Okay, and I'm watching the person in front of me, following what she does. If I miss the beat, does the whole boat tip over? Like, what happens?
No, it won't tip over.
I hope not. It is time to take my seat while Rosemary finds her place at the front of the boat. She'll be beating a drum while we paddle.
Okay, paddles up, and go.
These women know what they're doing, and we are moving fast. The River Sisters practice 3 times a week, paddling on the water for almost 2 hours a night. I can't imagine, because I'm feeling this in my arms and back, and it's only been a few minutes. Lucky for me, the race will be starting soon, so we're going to head back in. I'm grabbing a few minutes with co-captain Joan Grossberg before the race, because I'm really curious how breast cancer survivors got matched with dragon boat racing.
Around 1998, in University of British Columbia, a doctor discovered that contrary to what was popularly believed then, that you should not exercise upper arm when you've had breast cancer, just the opposite was true, that exertion was a good way to overcome lymphedema, swelling, things like that. Mental health, better for that. And in Canada, they fielded the first breast cancer dragon boat. Dragon boating has been, for centuries, and it grew like wildfire.
Wow, so how did this team form?
This team formed the River Sirens, which is our sister team, was given a grant, received a grant from Cooper Hospital to purchase a boat if they fielded or birthed a breast cancer survivor team.
Yes.
And thus, from the River Sirens came the River Sisters.
Okay. How long have you been on the team?
This is my 4th season.
And when were you diagnosed?
6 years ago, I was diagnosed via mammogram, had surgery, lumpectomy, had radiation, and then just decided, you know, not going to talk about it, going to do my thing, do my tests, do what I have, but that's it, it's not who I am. Yeah. Until a friend of mine was on the team and said, you know, there is a breast cancer survivor dragon boat, let me try it. And from the first foot in the boat, I was a lifer. Yeah,
so are you in really good shape? Like, do you have great upper body strength?
Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's back. Our backs are strong.
Really?
Yeah, it's core, everything, but
Yeah.
I know in myself, my back has gotten so strong. Yeah.
That's very good. So is your team good? What's going to happen today?
Oh, we're going to win.
Good. Good, good, good.
We've been practicing. We practice to win, and
Good,
we're
of
out there to
course.
win. So
Good.
yeah.
Because you've had such triumphs in your life, too. That would just all fit in together.
But we're in a breast cancer survivor division, so we are up against people whose story is very similar to our own.
But the River Sisters did win that day, edging out their competitors by less than half a second. This is one competitive team made up of strong women who just happen to have survived breast cancer. The River Sisters have conquered many things, one of them being the Cooper River Dragon Boat Festival, right here in South Jersey. I'm visiting the Pine Wind Zen Center in Shamong, a peaceful monastery surrounded by 50 acres of pinelands preserve. Sajaku Roshi, who grew up in South Jersey and has practiced Buddhism for 40 years, lives at the monastery. Every day, Roshi welcomes guests who come to learn and practice the principles of Buddhism.
So most people come to either meditate, learn how to meditate, how to apply the practices of mindfulness and meditation to their life. And we also offer workshops and seminars and programs on a diversity of topics such as relationships, the workplace, bringing the Zen principles and practices into the workplace.
Roshi and I are walking along the monastery's peace trail. It has spots along the way called stupas, where anyone can sit and meditate or pray. Some people even come and eat their lunch there. Roshi and I are talking about what it's like to be a monk in South Jersey. That life, does that mean you're always here? Spend most of your time meditating and...
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have our daily routine. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get the Zendo ready. And
For?
Our morning early, what we call early dawn meditation.
Okay.
And people start to arrive around 5:30.
Every day? People come here every day?
Yes, yeah. And by people, I don't mean like a large number at that time in the morning.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's as little as 1. Sometimes we get 3 or 4 people.
And they come to meditate
They
with
come
you?
to meditate with me. We have our routine of meditation. We meditate for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours in the morning, including a chanting of our sutras. And the same thing at night. And if we're not meditating at night for 2 hours, it's a combination of meditation and a teaching that either I or one of the other monks will deliver.
Do you ever leave here?
Yes.
You do? So where would you go?
Well, last night I gave a talk at a senior facility in Mount Laurel, and afterwards stopped at an Irish pub for dinner. On the
there
way
you
home.
go.
So yes, just like everyone else.
Yes.
You know, I enjoy going out to eat and you know, an occasional drink with a friend.
What do people say when they do come to you? Do they tell you what they're looking for?
Some people will make appointments to meet with me in what we call Zen Life Coaching. So that they'll meet with me monthly to talk about what they're looking for. In our programs, such as the one tonight, Zen Chat, there's a Q&A period, and they'll reveal maybe, you know, why they came, what they're looking for. I asked Roshi if he could teach me how to meditate. To do that, we're going into the Zendo, where I'll be meeting 3 other monks, including one female monk. The monks have jobs and families outside the monastery, but several times a week, they come to teach and practice here. Classes are held in this Zendo, which is an incredibly peaceful place. Roshi, can you explain this altar to me? Does every altar have something similar? What you are seeing are symbols of consciousness. The altar has symbols that represent states of mind, and also it is a wooden altar. There are the elements of the earth. We have a bowl of water that is always central. The dirt in the incense bowl represents the earth. The wood, the natural wood, the pine cone, which happens to be from another monastery on the west coast. And the statue of the Buddha, again, is understood as a symbol of ultimate consciousness, the enlightenment, as some people refer to it.
It's very calming in the Zendo, and I'm ready for Roshi to introduce me to meditation. My posture is important, he tells me, and I should also place my hands gently on my lap or on my knees. My eyes shouldn't be fully closed or fully open, and my breath should be calm.
Throughout the period of meditation, you want to keep your attention on your breath. So we call that following our breath. So you want to be aware of when you're inhaling, and before you exhale, you pause and then exhale. And you want to be aware of the exhalation. What will inevitably happen is that you'll start thinking. So I tell people, when you start thinking, you've stopped meditating. Or you may even doze off, you've stopped meditating. Or you may be involved in some conversation in your head, you've stopped meditating. All you need to do is notice that and come back to your breath and start again.
How long do you think I should sit for?
We recommend usually you try to go for 10 minutes. But what's important is that you do it, quality is more important than quantity, okay? The time will come naturally, because once you do this with your full attention and experience the quality of it, you're going to naturally want more. What's essential is that you do it every day. As I tell people, if you're not prepared to commit to every day, don't bother. Meditation is not some magical instrument to kind of save us, you know, when we're having a bad day. It's not designed for that. We are literally retraining our minds and bodies to remember. What we call enlightenment is really more remembering our original nature, what we knew as a child, as an infant, and lost somewhere around 4 and 6.
If I had a room like this, it would be much easier, because this room's just so calming.
Well, if you ask any one of these monks, they will tell you that that is true. But what is also true, especially when we meditate for long hours, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where you are.
Because the conflict and the struggle, especially as the body starts to ache and that becomes distracting, it would be just like meditating in the middle of Times Square.
My time at the monastery has to end, even though I love the peaceful calm that's so easy to feel everywhere. It feels wonderful to be here. It's beautiful and it's peaceful. It's very nice. Thank you for letting me come in.
This has been a gift. Thank you.
I'm in Pilesgrove, where something really exciting is happening. It's the Cowtown Rodeo, where you can find real-life cowboys and cowgirls throwing lassos, racing horses, and of course, fighting really big bulls. It's crazy, it's loud, it's fun, and it's all right here in South Jersey.
Cowtown Rodeo, how's everybody doing tonight?
Cowtown Rodeo has been operating for 86 years. Hundreds of people of all ages come to watch 7 professional rodeo events, like bareback riding, steer wrestling, and of course, bull riding.
Right now,
Competitors come from across the country to ride. They drive hours to get here. 2 of them come together. That would be Carly and Scott Sellers, a true rodeo family.
So what do you guys do?
I compete in the bull riding.
Bull rider?
Yeah.
I'm a barrel racer.
And a barrel racer.
Yep.
How did you get about getting into this?
My great-grandfather rodeoed, and bull riding just intrigued me. You know, I just thought that, I don't know, I guess the adrenaline rush, you know, a little bit of adrenaline junkie.
What was the first time like? Like, when did you decide I'm gonna
when I was 15 is when I got pretty serious, where I got on, you know, my first big bull, I considered. And kind of went from there, progressed. I high school rodeoed, and then went to a bunch of amateur deals, and now I'm following the pro rodeo. So.
Do you have to prepare, like today, like your body at all? Does it hurt?
A little bit of stretching,
yeah.
You know, don't hurt. Mental preparation, you know, it is, you know, the fear and the excitement and whatnot of bull riding, you know. I guess.
Scott makes it sound easy, but everyone watching knows it isn't. The bull rider has to stay on the bull for 8 seconds. while the bull kicks, spins, and twists, trying to kick that cowboy off.
How do you feel about this?
I love it.
Do you worry?
Yeah, I'm like, you better ride it. Every time I'm like, he's gonna ride it. Yeah, he's fine.
She's
He's
very
good.
supportive for me.
And you're never scared or worried that,
No,
wow.
that's what you do. You know, but everybody says that. They're like, don't you get nervous? And I'm like, not really. No, I want him to do good and go and ride. I guess I'm just as excited as when I go, you know? I'm like, sometimes I ride it for him. You know, I'm like, oh,
You're
no. Yeah.
Tell me about barrel racing. I've honestly never heard of that before.
Well, it's a timed event.
Okay.
You go around 3 barrels in a
Okay.
cloverleaf pattern. You can either make 1 right or 2 lefts.
While you're on a horse.
Yes. Or 1 left and 2 rights. And then you run across the timer line and the best time wins.
Being around here today, I feel like I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
I cannot get over that we're in South Jersey.
Yeah.
A lot of people drove 6-8 hours to try to come here to
Yeah.
compete today.
Yeah, it's
you
a
know?
big deal, right?
It's great for us because we're only an hour away. So to have Cowtown so close, it's great.
Yeah.
It really is.
You have to be really good to compete in the rodeo, and that takes lots of practice. Cowboy Colby Clement practices roping all the time. I can't imagine how he does it, but I'm hoping he can teach me.
Colby,
Hey Meg,
what is going on?
how are you?
You practicing?
Yep, getting ready for the rodeo.
All right, tell me about what's going on.
What I'm practicing here is called the tie-down roping. Let's say it's an event. I have me and my horse. They release a calf out of the chute, and it's my job to go catch him, get off my horse, put him on the ground, and tie 3 legs, and do it faster than everybody else does.
Easy as that.
Oh, just like that, just like that.
So you're practicing right now. I want some tips.
When I got started, you know, my dad always told me, you know, the biggest thing was you gotta turn your wrist over when you're swinging a rope. So you're gonna have it out here in front of your face, and the biggest thing is just every time you come across is just turn that wrist over to where your pointer finger's up behind you and down in front of you.
You do this while you're on a horse.
Yep, chasing a calf. It gets pretty complex.
All right, I'm ready to give this a try.
You're gonna give it a try?
You're gonna go through the steps though first.
All right, well, that's gonna go in your right hand.
Okay.
That's called your loop. And these are your coils. These are gonna go in your left hand.
Got it.
And we're gonna start it off easy. We're gonna start you standing right behind it.
I'm more concerned about swinging this rope.
Standing right behind it. All right. So that's it. You're just gonna bring it out as wide as you can.
Uh-huh.
And every time you come over, just turn, yep, just like that. And you're gonna come behind your head. Yep, but keep turning your wrist. See how you kept your hand up the whole time?
Yeah.
If you turn it over, there you go. That was better. That was better.
Oh, I gotta keep this in front of me.
Yep, keep that left hand in front of you so that when you're ready to throw it, just make sure you deliver your hand all the way down to that calf's neck.
Colby is extremely patient, but that rope is heavy, and getting my wrist positioned right and the swing wide enough and the throw just right, this is not easy. But I'm not stopping till I get it.
Just keep the same swing every time, and then just when you want to deliver it, just let go. Now don't change anything, just let it go out of your hand. There it is. That's how it's done.
Pulling that slack. Colby, excellent teacher.
I tried my best, taught you everything I know.
Everyone I meet at the rodeo is super friendly. Pretty soon, bullfighters Phil Husband and Jason Smith will be jumping in the ring to keep the cowboys safe. It's a dangerous job, and I'm really not sure why anyone would want to do it.
What is a bullfighter?
You see, you have the bull rider. When he comes out, he's going to try to ride the bull for 8 seconds. And either when he makes that full 8-second ride or he bucks off, it's our job to get in between him and the bull and distract the bull away.
That sounds like the hardest job of the rodeo.
Yeah, we take the hit, so they don't take the hit.
What's it like when you're in there?
I mean, you put all your fears way back in your head, you know, and you're looking at everybody else, watching them load the bulls up, put their bull ropes on, you know, how the riders ride with what hand they ride with.
You know, you're trying to watch the bull rider. Once you do it for so long, you can start seeing when a bull rider's going to come off. You can see him start getting out of time with the bull. And at that point, it's like second nature. You just slowly start getting in there and making sure that you're in the position to make the save no matter what goes down.
Okay, I have to ask about the outfits.
Everybody's got their own style. I like to stay traditional with the guys that did it in the past. Years ago, they used to wear jeans, and they'd cut them out, and then they finally started making like skirts out of them.
Yeah.
The shirts, I like the fringe. I always try to put my sponsors right here on it.
Yeah.
The makeup, the hats.
Every bullfighter has a different makeup. Nobody has the same. We don't copy. Play with something until you find what you like and what suits your personality. And like the baggies, they actually serve a purpose, like the bandanas and stuff.
Yeah.
Bulls see movement. So when we throw our fakes or have to try to get around, and They see the baggies and the loose clothes. They go to that. You know, kind of helps us get around them.
Do you protective wear? Like, how are you safe all the time?
Yeah, I mean, we got pads.
Oh yeah.
Up through
It's like
here,
like a football girl or a hockey girl, and then
just
the protective vest.
Yeah. It's hot.
That is the least of your worries.
Well, the crowds have arrived and they're ready for a great show. The rodeo always starts with a grand parade. And then the competition begins. It's one awesome way to spend a Saturday night. And would you believe, this is South Jersey.